Hey there, and welcome to episode 10 of Sit Back with Sushma. Well, guys, here we are 10 episodes of Sit Back with Sushma. Over the course of the past few episodes, we've talked about many things, but today we are going to be talking about conspiracy theories, specifically the Roswell Crash Cover-up. Let's get straight to the facts. In between mid-June and early July of 1947, the rancher W. Mac Brazel found wreckage on his property in Lincoln County, New Mexico, which is 75 miles north of Roswell, which is a town in New Mexico. There was already news about flying objects, flying lights, flying discs, flying saucers. We'll call them UFOs, unidentified flying objects, as a collective name. Brazel thought that the wreckage he found on his property was related to these UFOs. Colonel Blanchard, commanding officer of the Roswell Army Airfield, RAAF for short, found a massive interest in it after Brazel brought the wreckage to the police. The next day, the RAAF released a statement which blew the county wild. I will read it now. The many rumors regarding the flying disc became a reality yesterday when the intelligence office of the 509th Bomb Group of the 8th Air Force Roswell Army Airfield was fortunate enough to gain possession of a disc through the cooperation of one of the local ranchers and the sheriff's office of Chavez County. So this is already strange. Part of the US government is claiming that they've found a flying saucer, flying disc, an extraterrestrial flying disc. The stranger thing is, they took this claim back the next day, and they said that the found debris was actually from a weather balloon. Ufologists, people who study UFOs and extraterrestrial life, were skeptical of this claim because they took it back so fast. In 1994, however, the US Air Force had a completely new claim. They claimed that the wreckage was from a spy device called Project Mogul. Project Mogul, according to my source, was a device consisting of a connected string of high-altitude balloons equipped with microphones. It was designed to float furtively over the USSR, detecting sound waves created by atomic bombs at a stealth distance. Since it was such a classified operation at the time, the excuse of this weather balloon was given. So there's already strange things going on. There's a hidden US Army project. There's damn flying saucers hitting the ground, wrecking people's property. But there's another strange thing. Around the time of Brazel finding this wreckage, people also reported viewing alien corpses being taken away from UFO crash sites. These supposed incidents were bolstered by videos of alien autopsies, or rather one alien autopsy released in 1995. But there is a person who is a proper witness to the bodies, at least, of these aliens. Miriam Bush was the executive secretary under the chief medical officer, Lieutenant Colonel Harold Warren, at the Roswell AFB hospital. According to Pat Bush, her sister-in-law, Miriam came back from home one day very excited and told the following story over supper. She said that her boss confronted her and informed her that he wanted her to come with her on an operation or something. He asked her to accompany him to a hospital room, and that's where she saw what she thought were the corpses of kids. However, as soon as she saw her heads, she realized these weren't human. The majority of them, according to her source, died in some kind of accident. There was a foul odor in the room, much like decay. When she noticed that one of the bodies was moving, she knew that at least one was alive. The entities she saw were the typical gray alien type. Tiny, slender, big heads, gray. Miriam was very excited telling this story to the family. But however, the next day, according to her sister-in-law again, when she returned from work, she was solemn, she was afraid, and she told her entire family that they were never going to speak of what she spoke of yesterday ever again. She was found in 1989 and allegedly took her own life. Well, when the government was confronted about these corpses, about corpses being taken away from the crash sites, they were said that these were actually parachute test dummies. In fact, there is a very interesting story about the photo of an alien from Roswell in a museum on display. And there's been extensive research done on this photo. The research, at the very least, proved that at least the film was used at the time period of 1945 to 1950. The Roswell incident largely happened in 1947, and the film was not tampered with whatsoever. I'll link an article about this in the description, and I might also talk about this in a different episode. It was interesting enough. Well, clearly something weird is going on at Roswell. So now let's look at the theories that people have. Theory number 1. These are simply projects of the US Air Force and nothing else. On a convincing rating, I would give this a 7 out of 10. These are plausible excuses, except I'm not sure if the audio capturing techniques at that time would have been advanced enough to capture audio while floating high above Russia. And also, they took back their statements so fast. And another thing is, Brazel dealt with weather balloons falling on his property often, and the RAAF knew what weather balloons were. So how did they not know at first sight, unless it was some kind of new weather balloon? And lastly, how the hell do they explain the alien corpses seen by so many people? Relatively, this theory is the most believable. The next theory is even stranger. This plan was made by the Soviets. According to the book Area 51, an uncensored history of America's top secret military base, the program was designed by Joseph Mengele, a nefarious Nazi concentration camp doctor. According to the book, adolescent children were deformed by Soviets to look like aliens and then deployed in an aircraft to fly over Mexico. According to this certain book, Stalin's plan was for the children to climb out and be mistaken for visitors from Mars. Panic would ensue, and America's early warning radar system would be overwhelmed with sightings of other UFOs. On a convincing rating, I would give this a 5 out of 10. US and the USSR were definitely warring at this point of time, but honestly, in all honesty, this theory is just weird and it doesn't seem practical for the Soviets. And unless the original source of this is confirmed and reliable, this doesn't add up all that much. Soviet archives also showed that this experiment wasn't planned, ever. However, Project Mogul was. And the last and probably the most interesting theory is that this was extraterrestrial after all. On a convincing rating, I would give this a 5 out of 10. While it is fun to believe that this was the act of aliens, we still need proof of extraterrestrial life. And unless we don't have it, we can't really say anything. Out of all of these theories, I would have to believe the US Air Force's reasons the most. But that is usual of humans. We tend to stick to the most normal reasons because we can't explain the unknown. I would happily be disproved if this did turn out to be the act of extraterrestrial life. In general, I think situations like these are best kept mysterious. Well, today we tried something new, and we spoke about one of the things that really interests me, conspiracy theories. Now we're all left to wonder, was this just Project Mogul? Was this the Soviets dropping off deformed kids? Or was this the act of extraterrestrial life? We don't know. Well, I just hope we'll find out soon. As you can see, I'm also adding a few changes to the podcast yet again. I have 2 different themes. One for spookier stuff, one for happier stuff. I'm also going to be speaking about more like conspiracy theories, crime, and so on. I'm also going to speak about happy stuff, don't worry. I also have YouTube videos that are planned and I'm gonna release them pretty soon, so stick around for that. Until then, Sushmit out.